Officers, I've been assigned to Scout 94 for this evening, 4 to midnight shift. May I have your last name and badge number, please?
Sure. P. Lindsay, 3761.
J. Valenti, badge number is 2218.
Got 90, check for signal 9, 1405 Gerard, Northwest, 1619. Simple. EMS there. Scout 91. Just know you're calling auto. Hey, it's trouble.
Scout 89. So why don't you pull over and let her get out? And what did you do?
I pull right on, I'll come right on.
Block.
She live right here.
You got a ticket for not having your headgear on. So if you want to ride anybody, you better buy yourself another helmet.
How much it cost?
I have no idea. You have to go to the station.
Oregon 20.
The Citizens Board determined that one of the things they needed to do is to recruit more local people into the police department. The 3rd district is that over 70% black, but yet the white applicants you have up from the fields of North Carolina and whatnot. The whole aim of it again is to get more inner-city young men into this police department and change its complexion perhaps as well as its way of operating. That may take years, but at least we're making a start.
So, here I am. If I want a good life, I should want a wife and children. And that's a real good reason for becoming a policeman. Wow.
At approximately 7 p.m., they were completely burnt out. They lost everything. All right, you are the mother of 10 children?
Yes.
And 5 months ago, you just lost your husband. Is this right?
Yes.
See. Do you have any idea how the fire started?
Yes, the fireman said that gasoline was all around, going all over the furniture.
Mr. Wiggins, were you there at the time?
No, at the time I was attending traffic school, but I'm sure that I know who had this done. But I'm not sure who did it for.
Would you rather have a smaller pack or light? You know, you put something there, didn't you, feel me? Put some milk and some eggs. Because I saw that on the list at the department. And what about some corn?
Like if you want me to help you do something a little later on this evening, then what I'll do, I'll just stop by and let me know. And I don't have anything in particular to do this evening, okay? All right?
The people in the community are complimenting you. There's no sham. We know that we're doing a good job, but suppose, like at the end of April, the fund's in. Ain't no more money. What are we going to do if, if they don't fund us? Anybody want to react to that question?
We got all the necessary criteria for this being a meaningful project, a successful program. So I don't see no way possible that it could really end.
To me, it was a test thing to see what we were capable of doing and what we weren't. I want to look forward to it, but that's like everything else,
A lot of us, man, have been into things like hustling or doing other type of, illegal activities to exist. And this job right here is taking us away from that, where we don't have to go through them type of change, So I think if they took this program away, they could also be putting crimes back in the streets.
So I think the program, somebody owes us that much, to refine the program.
Well, everybody likes to pat themselves on the back, but I really think we're together, man.
The Lord and Youth Center Drama Company has the pleasure of presenting to you the portrayal of one of the most deadly and influential enemies of our community, King Harold.
Want to buy some dope?
I want some dope.
Hey, Justin.
Child, where my what's at, man?
Jack, the dope is beautiful.
Man, where my what's at, then, child? Them my what's you got in your arm.
Man, be easy. Jack, the dope is good.
You weren't acting like that a minute ago.
I was sick a minute ago, Jack.
You gonna sell that kid that dope, man?
And then the dope gonna make him slick. He don't want to go to school, don't want to work.
Child, that kid in the 6th grade, child, look at his books, man. And you gonna steal that kid that...
Hey, Sean!
Hey, Jesse, give me some salt and water. Man, it fell out.
What? Wait a minute,
fell
man.
out.
How many times you cut that dope? Man, the dope is good, man. Get shit down.
Hey, man, do something, man. It's hard not beating.
Where to start
I
at?
said it's hard not beating. Do something. I don't
start?
know. It's hard not beating. Don't leave me by myself,
Doc,
please.
we all right, Doc.
Please don't leave
But I don't
me.
want no relatives, Doc. I can't get in with the
Miss Angela Jones has been promoted from a GS3 to a 4. Grace Grillo has been reassigned as administrative aide to the staff. Leon Zayos to the citizen board, which is us.
All right. Any more questions?
I'm not on the board. I'm not on any of these committees. This is about the upteenth meeting I've been to, and I've noticed that all of these meetings are taken up by bureaucratic procedures and Robert's Rules of Order. And I noticed another thing. It seems like the black people here are scared to say anything. I don't know that one Robert's Rules of Order, one board meeting has ever stopped a policeman's bullet or a policeman's club from beating the hell out of a black person. Nothing is going to take place until black people get up off their ass in these meetings and begin to ask some relevant questions about this operation.
All this jive and lying is only going to lead to frustrations in the damn street, and you can't keep on this lying and what you can see, all this jive. Ain't nobody doing jive.
Just one moment. I promised that every meeting that I'm speaking, and I can speak. Every meeting. You can't tell me to sit down, fella. No, you can't tell me to sit down. Mrs. Duff will give her report. Mrs.
Right.
That's right. That's right. Gentlemen,
I understand where you're coming from.
I understand where I'm coming from.
Whenever.
Right. Yes, right, yes. Just one second. That's right. Wait a minute. This isn't the
We wish to welcome you on behalf of the Pilot District Board to our fourth in a series of meetings involving business in the 3rd District. Question, please.
We are in a section where people goes right by, and often youngsters will try the door. Often they will come to use the telephone.
I have been wondering if there wasn't something that the police department could do to keep them moving.
Why not say, I don't care to be interviewed, but there are a number of men hanging in front of such a place, and they're obstructing business. We'll come. We'll come.
It seemed to me that they was a more deterrent when they were walking the beat and their presence was felt in the community where I was born and raised right here in Washington. All on 8th Street, all hours of night, walking up down the street, shaking doors. But I don't ever see them in my area.
If you want to do something, you have to start now. Can y'all start now? You know, y'all, everybody complaining about the 14th Street area, and I don't see nothing done. Can you start now on the police problem?
We're like quasi-soldiers. We obey orders. We're told what to do when we do it.
As we say, a way to start to move on the race problem is to start to move on the drug problem with intelligence, whether you're talking about drug traffic or drug addicts.
This was set up in the courts and through the district government. The police obey orders. If they come up with a thing that said police will, when picking up a narcotic user who has committed no other crime, and we take them down there.
I don't agree with that. I think that it has to start from the top. It can start with 1 and 2 and 3 individuals.
It's true that that you feel that the police also would welcome these things if they knew that they were available. It's a two-way street.
If they knew what they were available.
Yeah.
I appreciate the fact that you're here and our having been here, that the police are here, and that we're not in a confrontation, but it's something where we're all learning. I learned from what you've had to say here, and I hope that somehow
we have to. Thanks so much for coming. Thank you.
I'm good.
Very good. Very good.
Top of my today. Anytime we can get together again, you know, many other things, you know, so we get it.
Glad to have you all, son.
Which would have been the best input to the community? Now, this is what was done, and this is the policy that's used. Any vacancy that occurs, we search from within, we try to find a person from within, we stretch it in so far as is humanly possible to put that person in that position.
You got to have a staff to work with, and right now your staff are going in different directions. I like to hear from some other board members. They think they can run this program without a staff. You don't have a staff.
It seems to me that we're just repeating because you weren't here. You're repeating something that we've spent a lot of time on.
I know every meeting you spend a lot of time.
I just got here, but I don't know what the discussion is all about, but none of us on the board, and certainly Mr. Landers, is not satisfied with a lot of the things that are happening. I'm sure that Mr. Landers will sit down with anybody to discuss ways of improving. But see, unless you do that, it seems to me you're being unfair to the community, and you're being unfair to those who have sat down and tried.
But in my business or any other business, when things are not going right, staff is not going right, you start at the top. You don't start at the bottom.
What do you first do?
Trial and error. So
What do you first do?
If it's error, then you fire it. That's all.
I know. It's not done like that.
You might dress it up some, but
You're not going to dress it up at all. You're going to take a spade as a spade, that's all.
My only concern is not to defend anybody, but to talk about a process. And the project expires April 30th. Maybe it ought to just die if people feel that bad about it. I still don't want to spend no more goddamn time down here. So we have to decide whether or not the project is worth programming to try to continue. And if we're not going to be programmed to continue after April 30th, I think we ought to just amble along and get through and go on home.
Her? I added that difference to this and came up with this.
What is this figure?
That'll be our total. 268, 268.
Check it on your tape.
All righty.
Don't forget your 10 cents.
Uh-oh. So now, this should come to the total of those three. But, so we have to add on to here what's left off. What is left?
Wrong.
This is wrong as it stands now, yes.
Wrong figure-wise.
Here this came to the board, for the board to make a recommendation to the mayor to submit this to OEO. Is that true or false?
That is true.
Then I'm saying that here the staff work in this thing is done by a bunch of chumps. Don't we have any ad machines in here? Or we need to bring one out here right now. We're going to need that. There's some serious problems involved in this program. You defeated before you start, just on your math alone.
I was asked for a figure, and I had the figures available.
Were you authorized to give this figure
I
for
am
me?
director of this project, yes.
But you're not in charge of this
I
project
am
per
in charge
se.
of this project.
I thought the board members were in
The
charge.
board sets policy. I am in charge of the administrative operations of this project. When the board tells me what it wants to do, I carry it out.
Hey, right there. Right there. The board tells you what to do.
Part of it is the budget.
Right there, back up.
Back
up. Hey, back up. The board tells you what to do.
The board tells me
Right.
what to do.
Okay, now that's all I want to hear. That's all I want to hear.
This will elucidate it. May I ask you, Mr. Landis, has this particular program, the $2 million program, been discussed with the mayor?
No, sir.
We've got
It's being discussed now.
So you took it on your own to recommend a budget to the mayor?
I did not submit a budget, a figure, Mr. Murphy. We can both play those games in words. I wasn't here, Mr. Murphy. You were. You were a part of it.
Don't tell me I was a part of any damn preparation of submitting some board for less the amount that we received initially and double the damn amount. This is the failure of most businesses coming from a business position. How are we going to do anything undercapitalized? How can we function here?
This is what happened.
According to the mayor, I can't look.
I know that you want to smell. If you don't know what you're talking about, sit down and don't be talking to me in front of these people about it.
Talk to the mayor.
And the man knows it now. And if he said he didn't know anything about it, when you mention it to him, the man knows it now.
What's wrong? We ain't never said this. Right there, Roger, running the damn ground.
You have had people smile in your face and tell you that they were with you, they turn right around and put you in the back. And these are the board members. You're an educated man, honey. You got to know how you're supposed to do that. You don't have to stoop to that. Don't make yourself complicated. You don't have to stoop to that. Don't stoop. You're a professional man. Hold up your dignity. You can do it. Retain your cool. Retain your cool. You're a dedicated man. You've done a good job. Retain your cool.
We never can tell what will happen between now and Thursday. You know, that's a week away.
You've had very poor liaison.
I agree with you. It's got to reach a point that
whether I remain there as director or go, or whether anyone else comes, there's got to be a understanding as to what the board can do, what the director should do, where they cleave and where they come together.
Your parliamentary procedure is very lax. That Donnybrook at the last Thursday night meeting was ridiculous. It was disrespectful.
The mayor's whole philosophy is that he does not want any controversy. He wants to keep things down. And if it means bearing the whole brunt of it up there, this is what he wants me to do.
All you're asking is for a person to come in and work with him and explain something. Even the mayor should be able to understand that.
The mayor doesn't like to disturb the waters unless they completely engulf him. You know that.
Cool.
No.
Well, it's 8:30, half hour late, so I'll call the meeting to order. And Mrs. Duff, chaplain, will you give the prayer, please?
I'm going to give us this more knowledge, more wisdom, more understanding, so we will be able to deal with the issues that confront us in making this project a success. Amen.
If I remember correctly, we were told to come.
It was 2 weeks ago that we were at the same place where we alerted the citizens to a menace that was getting ready to plague our community in terms of the police department indicating that they were going to fingerprint and mug all persons that were arrested for misdemeanors and for some traffic offenses. Now, we're not opposed to pictures being taken of people who committed felonies, but we think that 90% of the people that are arrested in Washington, D.C. are black people.
Hey, man, why don't you go back and try that again?
Y'all, good job, man.
We just finished meeting with Chief Wilson, and I think everybody ought to understand that our position earlier, 2 weeks ago, was that we were opposed to the fingerprinting of people that were arrested for misdemeanors, and we've been discussing that for the last hour and a half, and we have not gotten a conclusiveness as to whether or not it will continue in the 3rd District.
What are they trying to accomplish? What is the purpose of
But you have to ask the police department what they're trying to accomplish. I think we're just giving our position, and the chief can give his position.
Aren't citizens supposed to have an input into the way the police station is operated?
If it had not been for the Pilot District project and our vigilance, this thing would have gone through. So I think everybody ought to understand this is the kind of thing that the project stands for. This is the kind of thing that the project wants to do because we're there to serve the community. I think that this shows the strength and the success of that kind of project. And I think that the chief can speak for himself, but he said that in general he supports the project and the mayor supports the project, and that we're going to continue to try to get some money for it.
Thank you very much.
Be hitting people in the head.
Isn't that something?
Blood in our hallway. Trash, stink. Got dogs in our building.
And that's the kind of life we got to live, right?
People stop, fight right on.
We kill each other, don't we?
Right on.
So we got to try to create some love and some feeling in our community for ourselves, right? What do you think about the police?
They ain't nothing but pigs, man. Like, when I was growing up looking for my father, man, like, they picked me up just because I wasn't in school and shit like that. So I said, man, what y'all gonna do with me?
Mm-hmm.
They said, I'm gonna take you to the to the pig pen. I said, no, you ain't. You gonna take me to my aunt, buddy. So he said, all right, all right. So I said, man, y'all ain't nothing but pigs. Y'all know that? I told him right to their face. Then they come up here.